This is my level walkthrough made to go with the brief that was sent to me. This level is set within a post-apocalyptic story revolving around two characters travelling across country in search of safety. It takes place midway through the game, where the player is currently travelling via a train they have commandeered. The level would start with a cinematic of the train beginning to cross a bridge over a small canyon with a dam. Upon entering the bridge, the player will notice an army vehicle parked across the tracks, causing them to slam on the brakes. The player will now have to exit the train to investigate and possibly remove the truck from the tracks. So the player will start in the back of this carriage, because of the damage to the bridge. So they have to come down and use the scaffolding, and it's the first look at the first traversal mechanic, which is just using ladders to go up and down between the scaffolding and the bridge. When creating this scaffolding, I tried to make it to try and create tension in the player. So there is floor panels missing. There is safety rails that are bent. I tried to make it quite compact. Other ways that this could be emphasized, if I was continuing to make this level with other people, there could be some sound design to include maybe like wind sounds, creaking floorboards, as well as dust particles happening when the player walks, to try and emphasize how old and rickety this scaffolding is and to add more tension. As they approach here, the player will get a good look at the dam, as well as the height that they're currently at. As they continue on, they come across this winch, but it looks to be missing a part, so they best leave it for now. There's a couple of pickups here, so being a survival game, there'll be certain parts of the game where you have to enter combat and fight monsters and the creatures that are in the game, and so there's some pickups around the level that you can pick up, which could be like ammo for the rifle, raw materials for crafting and stuff like that. And so you can just press E to interact on these, and we'll progress. To get around this first bridge leg, there is an obstacle on both sides. Both sides have panels missing. On this side you can do a long run and jump to get across, or on this side you can, because the gap is a bit longer, you can jump up and grab on and shimmy across instead. I think to add a little bit of tension here as well, and to add to the fact how rickety the bridge is, that maybe when I exit this panel that I'm on right now, maybe it starts to shake, some dust comes out, and then as I exit it, just here, it will drop down, again adding to the fact of how frail and damaged this bridge is, and to emphasize how quickly we need to get this done and get off the bridge. So we'll continue moving, drop down, and then we have this next little bit where we have some more panels missing, but there's no way around it. But if we look up, there's this rope hanging from above, and it looks to be some extra up there, but we need to let it down so that we can swing across. So we can use this raised scaffolding to reach this ledge, which leads right up to the rope. So once we're up here, turn to face it, and then we can jump up and shimmy our way over to the rope. So once we get here, we can press E to interact, which will drop the rope, get a bit closer, drop the rope, and now we can shimmy back across. There's some ground down there we can drop. Use the scaffolding again to reach the other area. And now with it here, we can swing across. And as we get to here, there's a little vista that maybe we could have some lines from the player talking about something which has happened in the story. It could be a moment of reflection for the character and for the player, or they can just mention, since it's quite a good view, you can mention about how high up they are, again just to emphasize how quickly the main character wants to get off the scaffolding. So we make our way around here. There's a little crafting bench as well as some more resources, so if the player wants to upgrade their items or craft some things, they can do that here. And then we can use a ladder to go up, and then we have the approach towards the army vehicle. So it's parked across with a slit in the back, so the player will naturally go towards that to have a peek in, and then when we peek in, we'll get a line saying explosives. I think we're on the right track. So there was obviously a plan to try and destroy this bridge to stop people coming through, but it hasn't been fulfilled, the plan. And then since we have this plank going underneath, showing that you can go underneath the car, the player would go prone to crawl underneath, but I don't have a prone mechanic in, so we're just going to crouch. And the car has no collision, so we can just progress. As we get here and stand up, we can go to the driver's side of the car, reach in, unlock the door. We'll try to start the end but it doesn't work, so we end up having a little cinematic showing the carriages talking. The player mentions the winch that they found, but there's no hook, so the companion will drop down out of view and then come back with the hook and throw it to the player, who can now attach it to the winch and maybe try and pull the car off from below. So now we can interact with this ladder, which drops down to where we were before, but we couldn't access it because it's been pulled up. So now we can interact with it. Now it's available to use, so we can interact again to come down. And now we have the hook, we can grab the winch, and then we can place it on this rail here, which is right underneath where the truck will be. And when we press E to interact, it will pull the car down, destroying this platform with the ladder, stopping us from coming up, going straight back up. It'll also take away some of the floorboards as well as rip the railing off, and it'll cause an explosion down there, which will disturb the foundations of the bridge. The bridge will start to shake and sway a little bit, and as well we'll start to hear some roars from the creatures on top of that dam over there. So they've been alerted to our presence because of the loud noise, and so as well as this, the player will hear that the bridge has the train has started to start, and the companions shouting them, but they can't fully hear what they're saying, but they know that they have to very quickly find a way to get up to the top of the bridge and meet the train. So there are two different ways that the player can go. They can go this way, where they can use the ladder they used before to go back up, or if they spot this yellow little bit of a ledge poking out, they'll be able to spot that and climb up that way. Instead, they could go this way again. If they went that side, this side's a bit quicker, and that's what they need at the minute to get up very quickly. So they would run, they would jump over. We've already lowered the rope, so we could swing across, then use a ladder, and then get up from that direction. And the advantage of going that way would be that you're now running, the train's already coming towards your direction. Rather than going the other direction, you have to run and try and catch up with the train as it's starting up. So we'll just go this way for now. So let's imagine, press E, and the truck is gone and it's pulled everything down with it, and now the monsters have came and we have to run and try and find our way back up. To show some variation, I'll show this wall. So we just at the bottom, we'll climb up, and now we have to run and try and get to the train until we find a carriage that's open. This carriage is open, and then we can jump in, climb up. And then once we get in here, there'll be a little cinematic of the player and the companion pulling the door shut to stop monsters from getting in. And then a continuation of this level, if I was making a larger level, it would be maybe the player goes on top of the train and they're trying to shoot and kill the creatures to get them off the train. But then eventually they decide that it's a lost cause, there's too many of them, and they're causing too much damage. So in this case, the player would have to slow the speed of the train, and then go stealthily towards the back of the train without alerting any of the monsters, and then slowly roll off the back of the train, sending the train on its way. So the players have lost that at that point in the story, but also it's taken the monsters with them and they've escaped with their lives.